So maybe we should talk about the offensive line. Since there's only so much reshuffling of the defense they can do. And the ultimate end result will be a defense that's mediocre at best. So the offensive line, this is now the most important unit on the team because it's now an offense driven team. It's a pass first team. If this team is going anywhere, it's going to be because Brock and or Mac are going to pass the hell out of the ball for the rest of the season. Christian McCaffrey isn't going to all of a sudden start averaging 5 yards a carry. That's not going to happen. Brian Robinson Jr. won't either. Isaac Arendo doesn't seem like he's ever going to get an opportunity, and neither will Jordan James. So this season largely comes down to the offensive line pass protecting, keeping quarterbacks upright. And it does not look like they can do that. So when the Niners talk about all the bad luck they had this season, I think it's fair to point out that they created some of their bad luck by neglecting the offensive line year after year after year, smugly. When people talk about, hey, you really haven't addressed that, it's really important, it's kind of the bedrock of your whole team, I feel like the Niners are kind of like, if you really know ball, if you have a cutting edge understanding of football, you understand that just pouring resources into your offensive line doesn't really guarantee anything. In fact, it really guarantees that you're not going to have an explosive offense because you really haven't invested in weapons, and you're going to be picking in the top 10 over and over again. You're going to have the best offensive line in the league, but you're still going to lose. So why is that? I mean, that's kind of their thing, right? All you really need, you don't need guys who are all pro. You just need guys, solid enough who can start. So heading into the offseason, everyone knew that left guard was a big hole. I mean, you lost your starter, Aaron Banks. Was he good? No, but he's a starter. And the Niners are like, oh, we are so progressive. We are so forward thinking on the offensive line that we don't even need to replace Aaron Banks with a starter. What is a starter? What does that even mean? We're going to go with Ben Bartch, who, yeah, he gets injured a lot, but when he's not injured, he's really good. And that is true. He is good when he's not, but he's injured all the time, including now. And then the backup plan was to spend a 7th round pick on the position. I mean, isn't that arrogant? They wanted to improve their defensive line. They wanted to improve their run defense. They spent their first 5 picks on it. If you really want to keep your quarterbacks upright, don't you spend a lot of picks on the offensive line? I mean, if you have 3 quarterbacks on your team and you don't really think highly of any of them, and you think they're basically all kind of the same and none of them are getting paid, then forget the offensive line. Whatever. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, and download the app now. You're on your own, quarterback, and if you go down, the next guy is just as good, if not better. But if you spend this much money on a starter, I don't see how you don't. I mean, every other team that spent a lot of money on their quarterback also spent a lot of money on their offensive line, or the ones that didn't have injured quarterbacks. Cincinnati, the 49ers. Other teams that spent on their quarterback, Philly, Green Bay, Kansas City, Buffalo, they spent on their offensive line because they don't want Connor Colby protecting the franchise. Do you know how much money these teams how much cash they put into escrow accounts for these quarterbacks to have Connor Colby protecting their cash? Nah, not for me. I wouldn't do it. I'm not saying like fire Kyle. He's 4-2. But if I were the owner after a loss, maybe it's not just one loss, but I'd want to talk to him about, hey man, you convinced us to pay this money for these quarterbacks. You told us that Brock was great. You told us that Mac was great. We believe you. We made the investment. And then you told us not to invest in the offensive line. Well, why was that what you wanted to do, Kyle? That is the one structural thing about the Niners that they have to own. I mean, it's not Kyle Shanahan's fault that Fred Warner got hurt today, but is it his fault that his quarterbacks get hurt so often? Yes and no, kind of, in a way. Is he doing everything he can to keep his quarterbacks healthy? Hardly. Shrek says, send Nick Martin out there. I want to see Nick Martin play football. Sergio G says, there seems to be some confusion with the medical staff about if when a player is healthy enough to return from injury, 4 field goals and 1 TD equals why the Niners lost. Yeah. I feel like, why are they kicking so many field goals and not scoring that many touchdowns? I think they're really missing Deebo Samuel.